drinking coffee. Not coffee. I think I'm thinking about drinking coffee. I've had 2 or 3 cups of tea, so I don't need any more caffeine. But that was a Freudian slip. We've got water and we're walking. And my triceps are so sore. All these core exercises on TRX, involve the arms. And so I was contemplating, should I do core today since I'm so sore everywhere? So I've been doing really heavy duty full body training where I just start out with those really simple TRX, door anchor, angular squats, nothing fancy. I did some of the single leg squats, which aren't that much harder because you're using so much leverage, right? Pulling yourself up. And you can get into tweaking the exercises. And I'll be showing on this channel, as well as another channel, I'll be showing the majority of all those exercises and then compiling them together into a playlist, right? Of the things that work for me and worked for me for years. The problem that I ran into with the TRX is that I was traveling so much and things were so inconsistent that I thought, like most people do, I could just hang it from a tree, right? That's not so easy. There's not that many places where you can just go hang it from a tree and just kind of make yourself comfortable, right? In certain areas there are, and some people can recollect a park that they like to go to, but you're not always going to be able to access it, even in the back of your mind where you think, we can go anywhere we want. We can take the super bands with us and train. It just doesn't work out that way, And I would carry the TRX around with me in a backpack along with super bands and rarely could find a place, right? A lot of times you go to a baseball park where you have a chain link fence and you're just able to hook on and try to do, so like a baseball park would probably be the preferred way to go, right? Or maybe somewhere where, not a very popular tennis court. That would be kind of where you want to look to. But, soon, that has become a lifestyle again to me. Never thought I would break away from it. But 15 years ago, for a good 10-year stretch, you'd find me, amping up on the amino acids and going in and out of gluconeogenesis, staying shredded and being a big advocate for health and fitness. I attribute a lot of the things that ended up even chipping away at me morally to dietary issues where I just wasn't getting enough nutrition. Now, of course, I've become like some sort of madman spokesman, not just for orthomolecular nutrition, which is still receiving bad press today. So many years after Linus Pauling was pioneering this, so many years after Billy J. Saley passed away, right? And where this should have gone into is, like I talk about it, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but almost any of the live streams that I've been doing the past couple of weeks, even months, they center around the fact that cortisol and G gluconeogenesis really drive the vitamin C into the cell structure, right? And that's when you see the high dose vitamin C go to work and make profound changes in your body, in your state of mind. But you've got to have all the nutrients, right, in check. And the only way to do that is, the other thing that I'm talking about over and over again, is beef liver. Beef liver is the healthiest thing you can eat. You couple that up with, again, sardines and eggs, kind of going on the old school, and then beef, going on the old school steak and eggs diet, right? The old school bodybuilding diet like that, it works. It really does. And then in high intensity exercises. But for me, everything focuses around the core, right? It's the area that gets weak. When your stomach gets distended, when you get a fatty liver, when you start to put on a lot of weight, that's the first area that's going to give you the hardest time in stabilizing, right? So for me, I thought, do I want to train my core today, even though my triceps are so sore? And then I realized, then my triceps will still be sore tomorrow, right? And I won't be able to hit anything else if I just annihilate my core today, right? So we're going to try to save that for tomorrow. I'm going to try to get up early enough to get a workout on Father's Day tomorrow, Sunday, the 15th of June, where my kids want to go see a movie and spend some time together, which is awesome. We could maybe even go for a little hike or something. So we'll see what happens. But, I feel like I have a new lease on life. I feel completely reinvented just in the last week. And I finally see what I was missing. It's been so many years since I've felt this way. Like I said, it's been 20 plus years since I've felt this type of vitality, this type of health and vitality. It's been far too long. I would say it's even been 30 years, actually. I think I was thinking 20 years, but realizing it was probably more like 30 years. I keep forgetting what year it is. Yeah, so I would be going back into the late, I'd say it'd probably be like 2002, 2003, right? So I'm not that old yet, even though I pretty much have been put out to pasture by everybody, and including myself at times. And so I'm always, like a lot of people, I'm pushing 60, like a lot of people that are older, they come to this place where it's like they can't believe that they feel the type of vitality they did when they were ultra young. And the way that I like to look at it is, if you were to live 150 years, 160, 170, that's going to start happening regularly. In fact, for years, scientists have been saying, when they look at the death gene and a lot of other things, they can't figure out why people don't, right? Well, it comes down to an improper nutrient balance of specific nutrients. And one of those main foods that you want to eat and take in that's a miracle food is beef liver, right? Even if you are somebody who ate the carbs, right, you should still be eating the eggs. You should still be eating the sardines, right? You should still be eating the high quality beef. Even if you're somebody who throws a potato on the side, you should still be taking in the butter. You should still be taking in the olive oil. I know that's up for debate. Some people like to be bigger. Some people like to have a higher body fat, right? That's okay to carry around 20 or 30 extra pounds of body fat when you're staying busy all day and you feel more satiated and more comfortable, right? Because if you go into a certain metro or city dwelling, a lot of times it's going to take the target off your head if you're on the subway a lot, right? So sometimes people want to put on that bulk, and they also want to focus on their carbohydrate intake, and I'm all right with that. But there's not really that much of a treatise or a remedy to where either you're on this or you're on that, right? And then if you're eating other carbohydrates, you're opening yourself up for a variety of different vegetables, where you really could kind of play around with this and focus in on this really popular diet that's, this sugar diet that really, when you get down to it and you look at the brass tacks there, you might as well be doing a vegan fruitarian type fast, right? And fruitarian diets aren't necessarily healthy, definitely not long term, but it's something, if you're taking, apple cider vinegar and really trying to cleanse and clear out certain areas, but really what you're doing is you're super bolstering with antioxidants and vitamin C, So in my opinion, why not just do that? There's no reason to, unless you're chronically ill and you're advised to, fast for a little bit and clear your system out. Sometimes it's good for a reset, But for me, I think if you're going to do that, why not just go into ketosis and go straight up carnivore, right? And I've seen the most beneficial. It's so awesome that I can eat beef liver and it's part of the carnivore plan. Like, I can't tell you how ecstatic I am. So a lot of times when you feel like you can't do it, you feel like carnivore is just not the way to go. For me, it's absolutely the way to go, but I also employ, and I'm a very big advocate of gluconeogenic driven dietary plans, where you're no longer worried about your body fat, right? And you're focused on your performance and just staying on that critical edge, right? Well, I've performed really well, staying in a gluconeogenic driven, that is, taking predominantly high protein in every hour, right? Along with all the other supplements and high water intake, and being able to do performance, high intensity performance type activities, right? Where I like to train all day. Like I've been walking all day today, and until someone walks through that door, I'll be walking into the wee hours of the night. If I'm recovered, I throw in some squats. My legs are still sore too. This is more exercise than I've had, for quite a while, but it feels great. And we've gotten in 2 solid sessions, so I'm going every other day. Tomorrow I should be able to get another one in. I seem to recover. It seems to take me about 48 hours to really recover. I'm feeling my core, get more solid every single day. I'm waking up with the fatigue that I love to feel, where it's like, oh my God, am I waking up and doing this again, right? And when my recovery gets better, I'll be training every single day, full body. I love it, right? So look out for some awesome videos to come on that. But on this channel, I'm not pushing people into carnivore. I've worked as a certified nutrition and wellness counselor. I've had other certifications in nutrition, not degrees, certifications, right? I've kept my mind open to other areas of study and practices that aren't so popular, such as the orthomolecular focus on nutrition, amino acids, and really using G&G and cortisol as a driving force to create oxidative stress during exercise and really improve, right, the inception. Exercise acts as insulin, right? It's all based around insulin. So on this channel, if I wanted to go in and saw the benefit of switching my diet up, I'm not shy about it, but I will always see the value in going back to carnivore and doing it very strictly. And I talk to other people that have been subscribed to this channel and have given me invaluable information over the last year and a half, 2 years since this channel's been active, right? And I've been on and off with it. I've gone through things in life. I've got a son who's special needs. I had an uncle who passed away a couple weeks ago. That's how I got this TRX inherited through him, right? And what a great inheritance that was, right? What a great gift that was to be graced with that. And I'm very appreciated. I very much appreciate everything that has been, come my way through goodwill and good practices, right? So I see the value in, and I know a lot of people who believe in the vegan diet and they have energy, they're bursting out at the seams, but there's always a very similar pathway to having mainstays, right? For the vegan or the vegetarian, they're focusing much more in on the dark leafy greens, nuts, beans, and mushrooms, things like this, right? And then taking in things like barley, right? Quinoa, rice, or really brown rice, right? It gets to a point where they have to eat more calories. If you don't mind going to the bathroom all the time and essentially just eating, 1,500 calories of fiber and then battling with all the catabolic foods. With carnivore, the reason I like it is because everything you eat is efficiently used. Your brain loves running off ketones, right? The only thing that you're really not getting with beef liver is high vitamin C intake, and but you have all the B complex there. And then it compounds when you're taking in soon after eggs, eating large amounts of eggs, and always focusing in. I try to put butter or heavy cream in everything that I'm eating because I want to stave off, when I'm burning the fat, I want to stave off the gluconeogenic responses. But as I get more active and more performance oriented, and I'm trying to work out intensely all day, every day, right? I love staying in the gluconeogenic driven high protein state, right? And then I have shown on this channel where when I do gluconeogenesis, sometimes I'll add carb loading, but I'm finding that I can skip that and go, like, you're never 100% one way or the other. You're always flitting, you know, even when you're in ketosis, you're always, and you eat a high protein meal, you're flitting in and out of G&G, back in, you know, but the whole point is you're keeping those ketone bodies alive, right? And as the months go by, you know, you're doing this more efficiently. And I put a big printout down below. I'll do that again. What those ketone bodies are over time of sticking to carnivore, how those ketone bodies are built up, how they activate, and how they respond and work in your system. You know, because you really want to focus on never feeling deficient, never feeling depleted, always getting all of the nutrients you need, right? But also not overdoing it. And that's a big cautionary thing that I always, you know, add in when I'm talking about beef liver ever, is the fact that beef liver, you can easily overdo it on the vitamin A, as well as the copper, as well as the iron, right? It's very high in all three of those. And then it's high in many other things too, but those three are, you know, those are indications that you are just overdoing it. So it's okay to take a break on beef liver. It's okay to do it every other day. It's okay to eat really small amounts throughout the day, which is probably what I'll get into, because that tends to work the best for me, right? Is I'll just keep coming back to something. And as I get my body fat down, I'll be incorporating back in things like, you know, Swerve, my famous protein custard that is like my favorite thing to eat of any dessert, anything. I love protein so much, you know, and I crave it. And when you add like eggs in with that, right? And then you're cooking that in a double boiler, 35 minutes at 350, and you have perfect custard every time. It's insane. It's awesome. So that's something that I'm staving off for this month, that I'll be going into maybe if I get the kind of results that seem to be happening really soon, really rapidly, and I actually lose 20 or 25 pounds of just pure fat overnight, which I'm seeing every indication that there's no reason that shouldn't happen. So far, I've dropped 10 pounds almost just this week alone. So if I can continue doing that, you know, by the third week, I'm going to be like, okay, I need to slow things down a little bit, right? And make sure that I'm flitting in and out of gluconeogenesis a little bit more. That's when I can go back to things before all these eggs go bad that I have, right? That's where I'll probably spend a week really enjoying the custard, you know, and then kind of backing off that a little bit and going back into a real focus on ketosis. So I like to change it up. I think it's necessary. I don't think like you're creating undue stress on your system. I think if anything, you're shifting the stress over and you're activating and keeping something alive in yourself where you have that metabolic flexibility and that resilience, right?